if you're the CEO of Goldman Sachs, if you have a fun job that you love, a job that makes you so much money, you can literally build a Scrooge McDuck room where you swim through a pile of gold wearing only a top coat. A job that makes you so much money that only the tiniest fraction of it is taxed to keep Social Security solvent. Then you really shouldn't be saying this.
Look at the history of these things, and Social Security wasn't devised to be a system that supported you for a 30-year retirement after a 25-year career. So there'll be certain things that, the retirement age has to be changed. Maybe some of the benefits have to be affected. Maybe some of the inflation adjustments have to be revised. But in general, entitlements have to be slowed down and contained.
That is Lloyd Blankfein, CEO of Goldman Sachs, talking to CBS, and he's not saying anything that people, particularly richer people with desk jobs, don't say all the time in Washington and in New York. But it's got to stop. If you want to talk about cutting Social Security, just talk about cutting it. It's a reasonable point of view. You're allowed to hold it, to say it aloud, be straightforward. What makes me disgusted, though, is the cavalierness with which people who get paid a lot of money and who love their jobs, people you'll have to take out of the office on a stretcher when they're 90, the cavalierness with which they talk about raising the retirement age. What Blankfein was saying there is that Social Security wasn't designed for all these old people who live a long time. And to some degree, who cares? The country's economy has grown 15-fold since Social Security was passed into law. And one of the things we can buy with that money is a decent retirement for people who don't have jobs they love and who don't want to work forever. That's a gift of a rich society. Moreover, this idea that we've all gained so many years, it's not true, or at least it is not nearly as true for poor folks who heavily rely on Social Security as for rich folks who don't need it that much. As you can see on this graph, since 1977, the life expectancy of male workers retiring at age 65 has risen a full 6 years if they're in the top half of the income distribution. If they're not, if they're in the bottom half, it's only risen 1.3 years. So yeah, if you're wealthy, you have many, many more years to enjoy Social Security. But if you're not, you don't. And so making it so people who aren't wealthy have to wait longer to use Social Security is a particularly cruel way to cut the program. And it's not just a cut that is particularly tough on people who die younger. It's a cut that is particularly tough on people who spend their lives in jobs they don't enjoy. You know what age most people actually begin taking Social Security? 65 is what most people think, but they're wrong. If you wait till age 70, you get bigger benefits, but almost no one does that, so that's not the right answer either. Most people begin taking Social Security at age 62. That is as early as the law allows you to take your benefits. And when you do that, you get smaller benefits over your lifetime. We penalize you for taking your benefits early. But most people do it anyway. And they do it because they don't want to spend their whole lives at that job. Unlike many folks in finance or in the U.S. Senate who write for the nation's op-ed pages or who blog and do television shows sometimes, they don't want to work till they drop. And that's what galls me about this easy argument. The people who make it, the pundits and the senators and the CEOs, they'll never feel it. They don't want to retire at age 65 or age 67 or even usually 70. But you know what they would feel and what they don't tend to advocate for quite as loudly? Social Security taxes don't apply to income over $110,000 a year. In 2011, Lloyd Blankfein's total compensation, not all that was income, but compensation, was $16.1 million. That means he paid Social Security taxes on less than 1% of his compensation. If we lifted that cap, if we made all income, all the way up to $16 million, subject to payroll taxes, the Congressional Budget Office estimates that it would do 3 times as much to solve Social Security's shortfall as raising the retirement age to 70. In fact, that one move, lifting the payroll tax cap, would all at once assure the program's solvency for the next 75 years. I don't mean to pick on Blankfein here. He's one of the CEOs who's pretty straightforward about the fact that his taxes are going to need to go up. But he and all these folks who like to talk about raising the Social Security retirement age as if it's a complete no-brainer, they need to think harder about why they've settled on the single cut to Social Security that will concentrate its pain on people who are poor, who haven't fully shared in the remarkable increase in life expectancy, and who really don't like going to their jobs every day. Why are they the people who should sacrifice the most on Social Security?